So, I have been keeping track, and also, Matt, I know you're watching this. This is a quick message to Matt Denian real fast. Matt, I did get your text. I just, the internet's been out, was out at my place for like hours. I just got it back recently. So, yes, I did see the message. But we're not here to. But in question to what Matt Denian, author of Atomic Dragon, in case you're wondering, what he had in mind, like what exactly he was trying to reach out to me for, was in part of something that came out yesterday that I didn't really take much into account. But when I really thought about it, I was like, oh, they're being serious. They're being actually legit serious about this whole thing, and that. Is on the Toho official Twitter and Facebook feed. They asked about what crossovers do they want to see from Godzilla. Like, that was their whole thing, was they asked their fans out there what crossovers they want to see. Now, it does look like the new Toho regime has been emboldened to work with other companies after, like, years upon years of not wanting to really work with other companies because of, we're Godzilla, we're Toho, we don't need anyone's help. But now it's becoming very clear that Toho is more than willing to, like, reach out to other companies and be like, hey, let's work together. Obviously, the big one, first one that comes to mind is the Godzilla Power Rangers crossovers. They're working with Hasbro. And yes, I know it's technically IDW, but the companies have to work together on these crossovers if it's an IP. So yeah, they're working with Hasbro/Paramount in order to give us these comics. And yes, it's comics. But the big thing is, could this even spawn even more? Now, the Twitter feed was abuzz with all these different crossover ideas that people have been, like, throwing out to Toho directly. Now, it could have been simply, we're just trying to have fun and engage with the audience. It could very well be that. You have to understand. It could very well be, something of that degree where it's, we're just trying to have fun. We're just trying to, engage with the audience, or, just seeing stuff. Honestly, though, I do think they are keeping aware that, like, because of the feedback, they do want to see if this is going to be marketable. Like, you never, like, there's always that chance it's just there to be engaging and just be like, hey, wouldn't it be fun if? But there's the other side of, if it's marketable enough and enough people and retention is there, companies will, like, do something to get that, because they want your money. That's why, another reason probably why they asked is, like, if we do this, are you going to give us your money? Like, that's kind of a big thing, is, like, if we do this, are you going to give us your money? That's always been a major driving force for a lot of things, where it's, are you going to give us our money if we do that? Are you going to give us your money if we do this? Are you going to do that? For real? Honestly and for true, are you going to do that for us? Cool. Now, the big thing, obviously, is the other major crossover Godzilla has done from Toho. And yes, we do have MonsterVerse, and that's more with Warner Brothers and Legendary working together. Toho, the extent of Toho's connection to that is, we'll let you use Godzilla, and you have to ask us if you want to use other Toho monsters. But really, the Legendary series just kind of focuses more on, using the monsters they have along with Godzilla and Kong, which, again, not connected to Toho, but I digress. So there is a lot of talk of, like, maybe Toho wanting to, do something with other companies, and there is a few ideas. Obviously, they've done Power Rangers, and keep in mind, I'm not saying, like, we'll get a Godzilla vs. Gamera movie, although Katakawa would be more than willing to be like, please, Toho, can we work with you? That was one of the reasons why they bought the IP from Dai. When Dai went out and Katakawa absorbed them, Katakawa, the first thing they did was go to Toho and be like, let's make Godzilla vs. Gamera. So there is a chance, and not to say Katakawa isn't doing well for themselves, they actually do very well for themselves film-wise, but there is that chance that Toho and Katakawa could sit down and make Godzilla vs. Gamera. Like that's the big crossover everyone wants, whether it be made in comic book or more importantly film. There is that chance now that, Godzilla vs. Gamera could be a legit movie. I would also say that another one that we should watch out for in the future is Godzilla vs. Ultraman. Probably because the Subaraya Industries has been very aggressive in marketing and putting Ultraman out there. Obviously, with the success of Ultraman, working with Marvel, although yes, the Marvel Ultraman crossover is grinded to a halt because Marvel and Subaraya Industries are having a dick measuring contest, and so I'm afraid. But however, Toho and Subaraya have connective history, obviously because of AG Subaraya, and they've all both companies have been cordial with one another for the most part, at least on camera. I don't know if I'm pretty sure they're talking mad shit about each other off camera. But there is a chance, and I think I would say this more, that we could get Godzilla vs. Ultraman more than Godzilla vs. Gamera. But I want both. I really would like both. But Godzilla vs. Ultraman, I do think there is a solid chance for a Godzilla Ultraman crossover. I would also say that comic-wise, this is probably also, and this could easily be what it really is that Toho is gonna let them let IDW greenlight more Godzilla crossovers. Obviously, they got the Godzilla Power Rangers 2 crossover coming in April, but this could open the door to other Godzilla crossovers from other companies. The big one being Godzilla vs. Transformers, and a lot of people in the comments said Godzilla vs. Transformers. So hopefully, Image and IDW will collab for that. Once Skybound establishes the Energon verse, as they're calling it, the G.I. Joe Transformers shared universe that they're doing. So maybe they'll establish that more. Once they further establish that, maybe we'll finally get Godzilla versus Transformers. I think in-house Godzilla versus Ninja Turtles would be really cool. A Godzilla Ninja Turtle crossover would be really neat. They're never gonna work. Marvel's never gonna work with them. We're just gonna now. But in DC, and yes, we are technically getting a Godzilla Justice League crossover right now, but that's because of Legendary. But personally, if anyone from DC Comics or IDW are listening to me right now, on the off chance of that, can you guys do a adaptation of Batman 66 versus Godzilla? That would be really cool to see Adam West Batman fighting Showa Godzilla, because that was meant to be an actual movie back in the 60s after Godzilla vs. Kong did so well. But anyway, just a fun thought. So do you guys think that Toho's being serious about these crossovers, or do you think they're just being just having retention with the audience? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.